Hello book besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ash and you are watching Smokedshelves. Hi, welcome back. It feels like it's been a while, but I know it hasn't. I just posted a vlog the other day, but something about finals and just not really having the time to sit down and discuss things. It feels like it's been so long. I've barely vlogged in a long time. I've barely been doing sit down videos. I mean, I haven't. It's been a hell of a few weeks, but we're getting through it. We are getting through it. I'm gonna keep this intro short because I don't actually know how long this is gonna take me to get through it all, but it feels like it's gonna take me a while because I have been doing some reading. It hasn't been a lot, but I have been doing it, and I haven't been updating in the way that I would love to with my vlogs. So I've been quickly giving the briefest of information, but I haven't actually really sat down and spoke about books and recent books and books I've loved and books I've enjoyed and just books in a while. So that's what this is for. Let's start. I read 6 books this month. 2 of them were arcs, which I'm really proud of. One of them I finished at the start of May, but I'm counting it for April anyways because it was like the first, and I asked people what they consider it, and it was pretty evenly split. I would say it was like a 35-65 split. It was about that split, which in my mind, it's not really even, but in my mind it feels even. I count it if it's in the first day or 2 maybe, and if I read the majority of the book in the previous month, which I read 70% of the book in April, and then the last 30% the 1st of May into the 2nd of May because I was reading it late at night. Anyways, it's fine. But yeah, 6 books, 2 of them were arcs. Nothing physical this past month, mostly ebooks. Oh no, I did read 1 physical book. Yes, go me. Kind of forgot about that, not gonna lie. Even though I really liked the book, I kind of forgot I read it physically. And I forgot that I read it this month. So the first book I read in April was The Romantic Agenda by Kann. I think I raved about this already enough. Maybe it wasn't a lot, but I definitely raved about it. I'm going to continue to rave about it. So The Romantic Agenda is about 4 individuals that end up going on a weekend-ish long trip together to a lake house. We have a bit of a love square going on. 2 of our characters are black and A-spec. So we love the rep, and it's just a good, fun, flirty time. I really enjoy this book. I will link up to wherever I spoke about it. This was just so good. I love romance, but I haven't read a romance that like a new romance in a world that I'm not familiar with that hit like that in I feel like so long. And I will cherish this book for a long time, and I can't wait to go into a Barnes eventually and pick up a physical copy because I need a physical copy of this. I talk a lot about this book a lot this month, so this is the one I'm gonna keep short. 5 stars, obviously. I feel like it'll definitely end up on my favorites of the year because I am having a very weird reading year so far. So I definitely feel like it'll end up in my favorites. I don't know where it'll rank at this point, but it's definitely gonna be up there. So that was the first book. Please go read it. It is. The next book that I read was Gallant by Schwab. This one I gave 3 stars. I talked a lot about this one as well, I think, because this was before things got so muddied by exams. I mean, this whole year's been interesting, but this one I read pretty much in succession, like at the same time as The Romantic Agenda. I gave it 3 stars. I spoke a lot about how VE is a very hit or miss author for me, so I'm still in that camp where I'm like, I like some of their stuff. I feel very about some of their other stuff. But this one, how do I even explain what this is about? We're following, I don't remember her name, but the main character that we're following, she's basically in a foster home. Is it a foster home or an orphanage? I don't know what the term that they use, but she's in like a boarding foster home situation. And at the start of the book, she receives a letter from a family member basically saying, hey, like, we are related to you. We would love to have you move back in with us. And so she arrives at the house that has beckoned her, and things start happening from there. Not everything is what she thinks, and yeah, a lot of confusion, a lot of exploring the grounds and figuring out her life's history and her mother's history and all of that. And it was just a spooky little book, and not much really happened in it. I still don't really know if I want to consider it as a middle grade or YA. I personally have it down as a middle grade, but like I can see why it would also be a younger YA. I have it as a middle grade. I felt like it was a middle grade. I don't know how to explain. If you've read this, I'm sure a lot of people have, if you've read this, what are you classifying it age-wise? Because I still don't know, even fully a month later, what I really want to consider, because I have it down as middle grade and I think I'll keep it that way, but I could be swayed to put it as a YA book. I'm so confused. That's kind of how I felt the entire time reading it. I was confused. I wasn't really excited about anything. I was just bored. I was just bored. The audiobook narrator saved it for me. He did an incredible job, but holy shit, I was so bored reading this. Mostly because nothing happens. And our main character, again, I don't remember her name, but she was fine to follow, I guess. Like, She didn't really have personality at all in my mind. And I kind of get that it's not the point of the book, but I'm such a character-driven reader. I love following people and just dynamics and learning about people. That did not do it for me. So that was unfortunate. But I read it. It was 3 stars. I'll probably pick up something else by IVE. I mean, I definitely will. I have at Deliveroo, but I don't know. I'm so... you know? Moving on. The next book that I read was Running Wild by K.A. Tucker. That was a part of an I Read 3 that I will link up here. Did I spoil in that one? I don't think I did. I don't think I did, but I definitely spoke a lot about it because it's the 4th book in the Alaska Wild series. We're following a new main lead. It was just good. It was just good. I don't want to say too much about this specific one because you need to have the context of the earlier books. Like, it's a sequel, not a direct sequel, but it is a sequel. It's kind of a companion. Like, you could, but then it would give away the cup. I don't know how to explain it. Watch that video if you're interested, but I will pitch Simple Wild. How about that? In Simple Wild, we are following Kala as she goes to Alaska because she was reached out to by someone who basically said, hey, your father would like to reconnect with you. And so she arrives in Alaska and she just has to survive in this non-city environment, very different walk of life type of people. And not in a bad way, like she's a city gal. And so Running Wild is a continuation. We are following one of the side characters from the first few books. This series is like a hug for me. I will always cherish them, and I'm sure I'm gonna go back and read Simple Wild at some point soon. Honestly, I adore that book. I don't think I can stay away for too long, and I really just want K.A. Tucker to keep writing in this world. I keep saying it. I really do keep saying it a lot, but I would love if they could write about Teddy. I still think that's his name. My memory is not there anymore. Definitely highly recommend that series. This was obviously a 5-star. Oh, I didn't even say that, but this was a 5-star. Spoiler for that vlog if you didn't see it, but this was a 5-star. I expected nothing less. That was chef's kiss kind of book. Like I said, it's from a world that I love and adore and am so familiar in. Yeah, I really should pick up more of K.A. Tucker's work because this is the only series that I've read from them, and I really should actually branch out into some of their newer releases, older releases. I know they have some fantasy romance stuff, I think. I should actually branch out. So that is the 3rd book that I read. After that, I read the next book that I read was Teach Me by Olivia Dade. I didn't talk too much about this one, but I read it in the middle of the month very quickly. It was an audiobook for me, so yeah, it didn't take that long. It was a short audiobook too. I think it's like 7 hours. And I listened to stuff on double speed, so yeah, very, very quick to get through. I gave this one 4 stars. It was so fun. Not a new favorite, but I did really enjoy it. Mainly, I was just really appreciative of the communication between our 2 main characters. It was definitely dual POV, and I honestly forgot about that for a little bit, but yeah, it was dual POV, and both, I don't remember the names, both of our main characters were so fun to follow. I'm always a sucker for dual POV, and yeah, the spicy scenes were good, because the communication. We love to see the communication. In romance, a really common 3rd act conflict is to have miscommunication between the 2 of them. That was not the case in this book, and I love that. There was an issue, there always is, but this one was more of a, no, I guess it was one-sided, kind of one-sided. It was one-sided, like I need to get to terms with being okay, putting myself into these situations that might feel uncomfortable, but are going to end out well for me in a sense, or even if they don't, like, that's okay. Yeah, so it's very much like I understand from one side, I'm gonna let the other person work through it, and the other person just working through it. Short, sweet, fun, and a little steamy. And similar to K.A. Tucker, now I really want to go and read more of their stuff and just fall in love with Olivia Dade. Oh, did I say what it's about? Oh my god, I'm doing terrible. You know, this is why I don't film at nighttime anymore. It's 10:30 at night. I shouldn't be filming right now. I have been studying all day. Someone stop me. Anyways, I think I kind of said it, but it's a romance between 2 teachers. We start with, don't remember her name, but we start with her. She's at work. She was called in, basically being told, hey, we have a new teacher in the department, in your department. They're both history teachers, and because our district advisor or whatever, they termed him, because he wants to keep him, you're gonna have to give up some of your classes to him, and you're gonna have to share a classroom with him. And she is very frustrated, and she just doesn't want to be nice to him because even though it's not the teacher's fault, you know, she's sour. But then they meet, they get along, and a relationship blossoms, and we have a single dad, which I love that. And the daughter is great, and she's a very active, proactive part of the story. It was fun. It was a very fun read, and I will definitely be picking up something from them soon. The last 2, I'm wondering if I should split this in my hopefuls video up. I might have to do that. Holy crap. No. I can do it. Focus. Speak faster. Don't go on a tangent every time. I'm doing great over here. After that, I read The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. I gave this one 3 stars. Where do I begin with this one? This one I Basically, this book starts our main character Stella. She works at a job. She loves her job. It's economics. I don't remember what she said specifically. She is a woman in STEM, and she doesn't really have success in her dating life, and the sexual encounters she's had in the past, and all of her sexual experiences in the past have been very not fun and very poor. And a coworker basically comes up to her and says, hey, if you really want to have a good relationship in the future, you should really learn to get better sex. So she takes him very literally and hires an escort. So that comes in Michael. And so the two of them meet, and she tries to strike up a bargain with him, basically saying, please teach me how to become a better partner in bed so I can have a relationship in the future. And we are following the two of them. And this one is also dual POV, which I, again, appreciate. And with this one, I don't want to get into too many specifics because I do understand the love and the hype for this book, and I can see it. I really do. But for a book that claims to be so big on the communication between the two of them, because the start of their encounters, Stella and Michael are very open about, I guess, boundaries and being comfortable in a sexual situation and, like, just, being comfortable with each other. And so Stella is very communicative about when she's uncomfortable in, like, their situations and, like, when she wants him to stop. And Michael is the same way. He's very good about asking and making sure that Stella feels comfortable in their encounters. And so, like, for that being so big about, I want to, like, whatever X, Y, and Z, and are you comfortable with X, Y, and Z, or whatever, right? For that to be such a big part of the book for the first 2/3, why is the main conflict based around such poor communication? Like, it's such bad miscommunication in the third act conflict that it honestly makes the whole first 2/3 feel like they meant nothing. Like, I don't know how to explain it better than the miscommunication in the third act really ruined what I felt like was progress being made between the two of them, because they let stuff fester up for so long that they both ended up not really exploding on each other, but, like, not understanding each other in a way that they had been so good at prior, and then refused to work it out for a little bit. And then the encounter in which sparked the getting back together point was so weird. Like, that it was a choice to make that the encounter. I can go on about this for a while. It wasn't a bad book though. Like, that's the thing. Like, I had fun with it until that happened, which is why it sucks that happened, because I really want to love it. I know so many people who love this book. It's so hyped, and it just frustrated me. It really just frustrated me that, like, this is how we were handling the situation. This is why they broke up. This is why they got back together. Like, the reasons why they did, without getting into specifics. But I clearly have not rambled enough about this one, because I still have so much, like, thoughts on it, and it's been a couple weeks now at this point, or I guess a week, but, like, still, why? If you've read this book, please tell me if you get where I'm coming from with this. Like, even if you loved it and you gave it, like, 4 or 5 stars, please tell me if you understand, like, why I'm frustrated. Because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm coming out of nowhere with this one, but yeah, I was a little bit annoyed, to say the least. It just, yeah, it really ruined it. I feel like it could have easily been a 4 or 5 star read had we not had the reason that they broke up be that reason. Like, if it had been some other reason, I don't know what the reason is, but it had been something else, I would have totally been on board. But I'll probably still pick up the Bride Test at some point and hope that that doesn't really trickle into the next few books in their series. So the final book of the month, technically / going into May, but I'm counting it for April, was Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor by Xiran Zhao. Where do I begin with this one? I feel like I said that with all of them. Where do I begin with this one? To start, I gave it 5 stars. I loved the shit out of it. I cannot wait for it to release. It releases on the 10th. I think I said the 3rd. It was originally on the 3rd, but it has been pushed back a week. So it releases next week. I can't wait to see it in stores. I'm so excited for it. They just know how to write for something that works for me, because I just fly through their books. I loved it. So this one is often pitched as Percy meets Chinese mythology, or at least that's how I've been pitching it. But I think I keep saying Percy meets Tristan Strong, which I've not read Tristan Strong, so I can't really speak on that one. But Percy meets Chinese mythology is how I'm going to pitch it. It's pretty spot on. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but it was so good. I loved Zach as the main character. I was reading the acknowledgements, and I think today they posted something about, like, the fact that it's debuting next week, and just them writing it and how it is really strongly based off of their experience coming to the States. Oh, not the States, Canada. They're from Canada. Or I guess they live in Canada. But they were talking about their experience immigrating to a white area and what that meant for their identity and feeling shame and having to, like, overwork that, and how that was a book that they wish was a book they could have for themselves. And I also agree with that. Like, obviously I can't speak to some of it. Just, it's so good. It's definitely a book that should be in classrooms. Honestly, it should be in classrooms. I hope it gets a lot of love when it releases, because it's the type of book I wish I had growing up. Yeah, I hope it's like one of those books that can be the book that helps a young reader learn something about themselves, or if they're queer, come to terms with their queer identity, or if they come from like a non-white family or a Muslim family, because they're like Zach and his mom practice Islam in the book, and just things like that, like something that a reader that's not like this, you know, in the mainstream, I just hope they can see that and see themselves reflected in it, or learn something about a culture that's not their own, or just any of that. It touched on so many important things. It touched on politics, current politics in China, and just the very real issues with being a Chinese Muslim and like what that means, and just so many things. I like can't even speak to just this sheer amount of things that was mentioned and spoken on and just shown through Zach's frustration in the book. No other words than that. I loved it. It was so good. I cannot wait for the second book. That ending left me so stressed. 5 stars, like I said. I love their books. Please pick it up in a week. Please pick it up. I'm still debating if I should do like an actual full spoiler review for this book, because I want to get into it and discuss so many things. But right now I don't really have the time, number one. And number two, I would actually have to like sit down and, well, you know, structure that out properly, which I'm not the best at doing. So we'll see. But yeah, that's it. Those are the 6 books that I read this past month. My small but mighty, mostly good, actually decently good reading month. For the most part. I don't know how I ended up reading as much as I did. I didn't really think I would, because it's been so exhausting. It's been a very exhausting month. And this month, like May, is a very exhausting month as well. I'm already making my way through finals as it is. And then I have trips planned and work, of course. So it's never really ending. But here we are. This took way too long, like way longer than I wanted this to take. So if this is broken into 2 videos, you know why. You know why. I'll say it in advance. If I pop in editing wise, you know why. Hello, editing me is actually jumping into here to say that I am breaking this up into 2 videos. 45 minutes of footage does not break down into like 20 minutes of footage in the end. And I got the wrap up to be about 15-16 minutes. You'll know before I do exactly how long this is. But that still leaves 20 minutes or so of footage for my hopefuls. I know I messed up there, so it'll probably be like a 7-8 minute long video, but I figured that's just really long. Let me break it up. That's what's happening now. This video will come out tomorrow, my time, so Wednesday, and then the hopefuls video will come out on Saturday, right on schedule. I don't think I'll have a bullet journal video for this month because it's just been hectic. I also just don't really need one right now, and I haven't really been putting that time right now to actually use it. Anyways, that's off topic. These videos are gonna be broken up, so that's what's going on. If you like this video, give this video a big fat like down below. Comment down anything that I mentioned earlier. I've asked a lot of questions. I would really like input on all of those questions. If you like me and you like my content, please consider subscribing. It would mean the absolute world to me if you did. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.